forced to be tougher than we really are, or to act tougher than we really are, or to be harder than we really are. But, you know, every now and then, fear is not such a bad thing. Being a little bit afraid. But being able to absorb from positive people, parents, teachers, and educators. So you're in the right place. And you come up here too. You're in the right place. And what's your story? What's your name? Where are you from? Where's your family?
I'm Ghanaian.
From Ghana?
Yes. I currently attend Mary Louis Boys Girls Club. I am 14. That's how much between high school.
What do you want to be? What do you study? What you got in mind? What do you like? You know, because sometimes people say, oh, what do you want to be? I don't know. So what do you like?
I currently like science, like a lot of science, research.
Oh, wow. Got a surgeon, got a what?
A vet.
A vet?
I want to be
Engineer?
Hi, my name is Ambassador Renisha Jackson. I'm from FBR Nation.
Why ambassador?
Because it's an I say ambassador because I'm able to speak up for all the other people who aren't ready to speak up yet.
Okay. Some, you mean some here?
Some teams, like not
Not here necessarily.
yeah, but more people that need.
You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You know what I mean when I say that? You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I say that because no matter how much you make, you can't take it with you. On your last day, it's not about how much you have or how many movies you made or how famous you are or how many likes you get. But it's about what you've done with what you have. And we all, as proven here, and I know out here, we all have different abilities. We all have different talents, and no one's talent is more important than anyone else's. What do you have in mind?
I would like to,
Come on, speak up.
I would like, my name is Julie, 15. I would like to become a neonatal nurse.
See? I don't even know what that is. What do neonatal nurse do?
A neonatal nurse takes care of premature babies
Oh, okay.
that are safe in the incubator. And they take care of babies that are like, some that have birth defects.
Now, where did you get the idea? What made you think about that?
I watch a lot of TV shows.
No, that's, you gotta start somewhere. You never seen training there. I had a feeling about you. Come on up here. Come on. And what's on your mind? What's your name?
My name is Taylor.
Taylor? What's in your future? Where do you see yourself? And this is a question for everybody. Where do you see yourself
I want to
10 years from now? Where do you see yourself? Think about it.
be a psychiatrist. I think it's unfair how a lot of people have to go through certain things. So if I'm able to help
I need to talk to you after this. No, listen, you know, when I was your age, one of the leaders in the club, you know, said to me, we had a debate. The mayor of our town came to town and he spoke and then he said, anybody have any questions? And I raised my hand. And I had a few questions. I like to talk. So we ended up having a debate. And I remember the counselors, the people that were in charge when I was leaving the club, they said, you know, young man, you could be anything you want to be. And I never heard And there's different things for everybody, you know. We live in a society now, a world now, everybody wants to be famous or wants to be the one to be seen, but that's not the most important thing. You know, it's who you help, who you lift up, who you make better, who you encourage, who you affect by being a positive example. You never know who's watching. How many people got younger brothers and sisters? Everybody. Wow. And you know who they're watching. You know who they're watching, who they're getting their clues from. And they'll follow you. You know. And if it's not you, then it'll be someone else. If it's not positive, you come on, be negative. Be negative. But now let's go back. Now what profession say again? Vet? Veterinarian, engineer? Neonatal nurse.
Psychiatrist.
Cosmetic surgeon.
That surgeon did any part of the body, huh? And?
I want to be an FBI French interpreter for the BAU.
You want to do what?
I want to be an FBI French interpreter for the BAU.
How's your French?
I'm taking French for
Parlez-vous français?
bonjour, monsieur.
1, 2, 3.
No, those are numbers.
I know. That's actually all I know. So you speak a little French already? Or you?
Yes.
Oh, come on, give us some.
Speaking for a month.
Oh. C'est aujourd'hui.
Once we come stop.
Okay. C'est aujourd'hui is what today is. C'est
Oh.
aujourd'hui.
I haven't learned the day.
So what can you ask me? What would you like to ask me? Yes.
What in your childhood do you feel pushed you the most to become where you are now?
My mother used to always say, you never know who's praying for you. So sometimes even when I wasn't pushing like I should have, there were those that supported me in the club, and you know, to a degree at home. Not even so much at home. I mean, they did push me, but they weren't there. They were working all the time. So a lot of the positive feedback I got at the club. You know, we used to have in our club in Mount Vernon, New York, where I grew up, we had a day where you could be mayor for a day or commissioner for a day, and I got to be police commissioner for a day, and I was mad because I wanted to be mayor. So I guess so it was in my heart to be the boss, you know, but it didn't work out that way. It's turning out all right though. But the thing about it, one of the things about growing up in the club is it allows you to dream, you know, and to practice and to work on your dreams, whatever they are. What's your dream? To become a pastor. Come on, get up here, preacher. Sit down. Let's make room for the preacher. We're gonna preach. Amen. He's gone now, but I'm Denzel Hayes Washington Jr. So my father was a minister in the Church of God in Christ his entire life. He got saved at 18 and he died at 80 somehow. He preached until he couldn't speak anymore. So why preacher? Why pastor? Tell us.
I want to be a pastor because, like, when I go to church, it makes me when the pastor is talking, I can feel like when he's talking, I feel it inside. I express everything that he says. I understand what he's saying. Most people will be in church and they be sitting there on their phone and stuff like that. I actually listen and I understand what the pastor is talking about.
Have you already like a junior pastor? You know,
No,
Sunday school?
in my church now, I'm a deacon in training.
Okay. Everybody bow their heads, give us a prayer.
Father God, I come to you right now just to say thank you, Lord God. Thank you for this day, Lord God. Thank you for life, breath, Lord God. Thank you for a shelter over our head, Lord God. Food on our table, clothes on our back, and shoes on our feet, Lord God. Thank you for allowing us to see each other another day, Lord God. I thank you for this day especially, Lord God. I pray that each and every Boys and Girls Club will continue to grow, Lord God, and be better than ever have been before. In Jesus'
say it. I'll see you at church. Now you remind me, because there's gonna come a time, and I'm probably old and I won't remember. So you remind me, because I'm gonna walk in that church one day, and you're gonna remind me. Okay? Who else? Well, don't be hiding. Who's hiding? Come on. Come on up. You too. Come on up. Who has not raised their hand? Who has not raised their hand? Come on up.
Hello, my name is Shelly Ross, and I'm a Create Ambassador at FBR Nation. I would like to get a master's degree in business and also a master's degree in architecture. I have my own two businesses, and their names are Full Figure and Alice. Alice is the clothing line. Full Figure is a confidence empowerment for anybody, male or female, any sexual orientation from ages 13 to 19.
Now, say that again. The Full Figure is what?
Full Figure Incorporated and Alice.
And which one was the you said one was a clothing line?
Yes.
That's,
Alice,
and Full Figure is?
a confidence and empowerment organization.
Wow. So you've been putting that together already?
Yes, I have.
What does that entail? What is that?
So basically, it's like you don't have to, even though how big you are, you still have the power to show who you are. Even no matter the clothing you wear, how you look, you don't need makeup. You don't need to be having on these cross tops to see, oh, man, you gotta look at me. No, you embrace who you are as a person and walk. Basically, it's a fashion show in 2019 that's coming also.
Tell them, speak up. Come on, Erica.
I'm a lead ambassador at FBR Nation, and I would like to study architecture.
I wanted to study architecture. I actually went to a summer program at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, and I realized I wasn't good enough in science. But I did play a doctor on TV. But I had to recognize my limitations. I was like, I said it, because when you're young, they're like, what are you going to be? I don't know, doctor, lawyer. I found out that wasn't my strength. But one of the good things about a liberal arts education, it's okay. You don't have to know at 15, 16, 17 years old what you're going to do the rest of your life. But it's important to get an education. It's one thing to make money. It's another thing to know how to count it. So you go to college to get a good education, or wherever you decide to go to school, so you learn how to count. You can read, as I know you all do. Young man, who are you looking at? Who else did I point out?
Me.
Who else you been? You were up here, weren't you? No.
Yeah.
Huh?
I want to go there again.
Wait, no, slow down. Come on, you two, come on. Who hasn't spoken? Speak up.
My name is Tyler Harris, and I attend Benjamin Banner High School. And I will be an orthodontist when I get older.
Okay. I started off pre-med, be a doctor. Then I went to political science. I thought I'd be a lawyer. Then I moved into journalism. I thought I'd be a writer. And by my junior year of college, I took an acting class. Now, I played a doctor and a lawyer and a journalist, but it took time to figure it out. Like I said, you don't have to know at 13 what you want to do. So,
I'm Nigel Woodward. I know it's 15, and I'm interested in engineering.
oh, what kind?
Either mechanical or electrical.
How's your math?
That's good.
It's got to be great, Got to be great.
I'm in
Calculus already? That's for the pre-calculus? Are you calculus too? No. Well, come on up here. Who spoke already that can sit down? Who spoke already? Okay. Sit down. You come on up here. Slide on down. Who's that we talking about? y'all pushing that.
Gary, like, give me my time. I'm standing
Wait, let's hear, listen. Make
Denzel.
sure we can hear. You're not telling me, you're telling
Gary's
everybody.
like, I'm standing
Don't
right
be
here.
shy.
Okay, my name is Heaven, and one thing that, well, I kind of, what I want to be, so it's between either, because I play basketball, so I'm interested in an entrepreneur, or
So, we're talking about what you would want or what you would be. What would you change with the abilities, about this world, with the abilities that you have? What would you want to change? Think about it. Who has an answer already? I'll come back to you. What would you change?
I want to be an environmental engineer,
Okay.
so I want to change how bad how bad the earth is at this moment. If I could build things to make it better. So since I watch a lot of Criminal Minds, and I noticed.
That's all right.
And I
As long as you're not on there.
And I noticed that there's a lot of that there isn't a lot of laws placed for people who are from out of the United States who can't speak English. They get treated unfairly. So I feel like that if I'm able to interpret what they say, they get a fair justice.
Like international law?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So what languages do you think you need to?
Well, I need to know French, and I'm going to be a French interpreter.
Okay.
But I also plan on taking Mandarin my
Okay.
last 2 years of high school for 10th or 11th and 12th grade. I'm taking Mandarin.
That is huge.
Yeah.
I would encourage anyone who has any thoughts or ideas about learning Chinese, learning Mandarin. That's where the money is. Yes, sir. You want to say something?
Yeah. I'm taking Mandarin classes right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Only got one thing down to me how.
You know what Nehoma means? Nehoma means how you doing, and then I think the answer is Maho. Somebody else.
Nice Maho.
Maho is.
Maho.
Yeah. Nehoma means how you
How
doing?
you doing?
Okay. What I leave out?
I wanted to say what I wanted to change.
Say again?
I wanted to say what I wanted
Speak
to
up.
change.
Stand up.
If I could change anything about the world, I would probably change the stereotypes people give to the black people. Because they just look at our color and say we can't do something without knowing our abilities or skills that we have. So I would change that if I had the opportunity.
Have you witnessed that firsthand? Somebody looked at you one way and you felt like they thought you were this and you weren't that?
No, but kind of.
I have.
But if I could do anything, I would probably, if I could do anything when I grew up, I would probably be a voice for everybody around the world. Like an activist or that voice that teens need that don't have it.
So you think with the Obama being the president for 8 years, that didn't do enough?
It did it. But it ain't do just enough. It ain't do enough.
You've got to keep going.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's never enough? So that means you got something to do every day then. What an opportunity.
better get to it.
Who else? Who else? Who did I leave out? Yes, sir.
I don't know, but that's a little change thing he said. Thing about me. Oh, alright, so my voice is like deep.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, so thing about me is that I see a lot of homeless people. I see a lot of people that's either they just don't go to college or they just give up on everything or they just basically stop. The thing I want to change is I want them to be able to afford a house or either boost them up to actually get a job because not entirely have them. Either don't want to go to job because it's so hard or just that they don't know the whole job process and stuff. So I like to help them with that and make rid of the world and get less people off the streets and more people in homes and so they feel safe and not unsafe up being outside.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if I had the ability to change the world, it would probably be people's mindsets. Because a lot of people think about certain things certain ways. And if
You mean the visual when they look and see you?
I mean, not even visual, just something. It can be visual. It goes multiple different ways. But trying to figure out an example. Basically, simple things like what's right or wrong. something that you should know. Like, matter of fact, if you knew your own history, a lot of people our day and age don't know their history. They don't know where they came from. So how do you expect them to act a certain way or move a certain way when they don't really know?
If you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going.
Exactly. So that's not possible. So if people, I feel like the world would be different if people thoroughly understood their history and how people's mindsets would be different on how they move and how they interact with certain people and certain things that they do in general. And then if I ain't gonna say that, but yeah, that's what.
Now you guys, everybody's on social media?
Yes.
So how do you promote your ideas? Now, how would you get that message out there?
How would I promote that?
Or not promote it, but you know what I mean? You, like through
I mean,
social media?
I could just.
Or do you already?
I mean, not necessarily, but what I would do is I would really just post a video, explaining what I was talking about, and tag like people like you to actually push that video and to make it known so people actually start thinking about it. Because once it's on their mental, it can actually start to change. But then again, it's hard to change something that was brought up their whole life. Like if you're someone who was brainwashed because of the things that you watch, the things that you were always brought up on since you were a kid, then it's going to be difficult to change, but you still change who you can in certain areas. So,
Are you optimistic? Yes?
Yes.
Who's optimistic? Who's not? Okay. Don't listen to too many adults. Because most of them, we're more cynical, I'll say. We're not necessarily pessimistic, but cynical. I shouldn't say don't listen to adults, listen to your parents. You know, you can dream as big as you want. There's nothing in your way. There's nothing stopping you from achieving your goals. There's nothing stopping you from achieving your goals. You know, positive influence from the adults in your life. You know, obviously hard work. I mean, I've become one of the biggest people in the industry that I'm in, and it's through the grace of God, number one. But it's just hard work and believing in myself and learning and applying, using and applying the lessons that I learned right here in the club. And making sure, most importantly, that I bring others along with me, because, you know, like I said, the cars and the clothes and all of that. Who else? Yes. What were you gonna say? Let me say something. I got a feeling what you said.
Can I tell you what school I go to and what I want to do when I grow up?
Sure.
Okay. My name is London. I attend Benjamin Banneker, and when I get older, I want to be the doctor of anesthesiology.
An anesthesiologist. Now, what made you anesthesiologist?
It was from my experience.
Yeah. My wife, when my first son, I don't know, you definitely didn't even know my son is an actor on Ballers. Y'all know Ballers? My classmate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when he was born, it was a difficult birth, and the anesthesiologist, my wife didn't want any drugs. She said, "Oh, I'm going to do it natural." About 15 hours later, the anesthesiologist was her best friend. In fact, she didn't even care if I went into the delivery room. She wanted to make sure, I think it was Dr. Wong. She's like, "Where's Dr. Wong?" I'm like, "He's right here, he's right here." So, I have a special place in my heart for anesthesiologists. Who else? Who have I left out? Did I leave you out?
My name is Ambassador Duran Johnson. I'm with the FBR Nation. I'm in the 9th grade, 14. My birthday was yesterday. I mean, the day before yesterday.
Just turned 14?
Yes. And what I want to be when I grow up, it's a lot of stuff. I want to be a football player, YouTuber, photographer. I'm still thinking more plans to do what I want to do.
So you got to read a lot. Now, what is a YouTuber? What's a YouTuber?
YouTuber
Just post video?
Yeah. Well, I want to post videos about my everyday life.
Okay.
About stuff that happens around the world, poverty, things and that.
What do you expect from us, adults? What would you like? Okay. Uh-oh. Go ahead.
going in the wrong path. But I feel like that if we have more support and we have more adults placed in our lives, then we could set this generation back on path to where it needs to go.
Where you get that from?
Okay, so my family, well, they're not criticizing, but my family, we speak a lot about like the past and what we want to do in the future, what we can do to help the future. So they tell me a lot like, Ryan, you can do this, you can do that. So like, I feel like that if we let people know, like gatherings like these, to let people know and be aware that we can help put this generation back on the path to what it needs to be.
Who else?
What I want from you adults is like to push us, like push us to want better for ourselves, like to let us know that, you know, don't be scared to do this and that.
Talk right into that
Ex-
camera there.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying, because I'm loving this. Tell
To
us.
explore like new things. Don't let like little stuff upset you. Like just push yourself. Be you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Thing on like for parents is I want them to be like not our best friend but more of our parents. Reason I say this is because like if parents are your best friend, it's like they going like you can probably do something that's knuckleheaded, like well I'm about to fight her or something like that, and the parent will be all for it. Like I don't know if you see video, but it's like parents and daughters out here fighting just one person and another family member. I'm like, that's not right. It should be like you should be taking your daughter out of like the drama, push her to a bigger path instead of just being part of the drama.
Well, speaking as a parent, I'm sure a lot of us feel guilty for having to work all the time, you know, not being there. I know in my case, you know, because I go away so much, I would come home and probably, not so much just trying to be their friend, but being a little easier on them than, you know, like their mother was telling them one thing and I was saying, no, that's all right. out of guilt, but that's interesting. Who else? Yes. Who hasn't spoken? You haven't spoken? Okay.
One thing I would like from adults is an open mind. There's a lot of people growing up who have big dreams, very, very big dreams, being a different job that hasn't even been invented yet. And parents try to not shut it down, but look past it and say, oh, you should try to be a doctor first, or you should try to be this and that. I feel as though if you keep an open mind and help us, just guide us on what we need to do, on how to become that thing, I just feel as though we will get there faster. You having an open mind on different things that we do just will motivate us to be better. Not to keep an open mind when you do extra wild stuff, where like he said, get in drama and you helping us with the drama. Like keep us away from that, like keep a direct mind on that, but also have an open mind and help us get where we want to go.
Right. Now, I've always been one, and some parents may not like to hear this, but I never believed in falling back. You know, people say, oh, you need something to fall back on. I didn't understand that concept. You know, I figured if I was going to fall, I was going to fall forward. I didn't want to fall back on anything. You know, I may not have always known what I wanted, but I went for it 150%. Now I figured out when I get there. So, not to say, not to listen to your parents, but nothing wrong with being a forward thinker. And there's nothing wrong with failing. Because you know, you can't fail if you don't try, you know, and one failure might lead to other success. Yes.
I would say that some parents try to live through their kids in a way because they want us to be what they couldn't be. And I understand that some parents haven't gone through college, some parents haven't finished high school, and their kids, they're going to be able to do that. You just have to trust them. You don't have to like continue to like be like, get it, Shanice, come on, keep doing it, keep doing it. Just because I got a seed and
What you doing getting a seed?
they were like, no, that's not what you're supposed to get. I ain't getting no seeds. I didn't get the chance to do this and that. I'm like, I want you to understand that I have a path that I want to take and I want to take it my way.
Who in here thinks they won't make it? Good. Okay. I see one hand raised. Anything else you want to ask me? Yeah.
I wanted to share something right quick. It was, so I don't know if you remember me, but 3 years ago I met you. Oh. Here's a picture. You know.
skinnier there. You look older in the picture than that?
Yeah, you know, you look better than me. But
What'd you say you want to be? Because that comedian thing didn't work out.
so you want me to do an introduction, or you want me to just?
No, I say what you were saying.
All right, so what happened was, it was like a whole bunch of security. So the event was a Youth of the Year event. It was at the Building Museum? National Building Museum, that's what it was. And it was like this big gala, Kelly Rowland was there, Denzel was there.
Right.
And then, so I was like walking past, and I just happened to see you walk past. I was like, whoa, that's Denzel. So I'm like, I'm walking, I'm trying to get towards him, and this big security guard, like, you know, he like 6'5". At the time, I was like 5'4".
You can handle him now.
I was like, I'm good now. So I seen him, and then he was like blocking on. He was like, you can't come right here. And I was like, you know, I'm just trying to get a picture. So then you was like, excuse me. So you talked to the security guy. He's like, excuse me, can you step out of the way? This event is for the kids. That's why we're here. And you brought me in, and we took pictures. We had like a conversation. I don't really remember how that went, but we had a conversation, and you was just like, you know, keep doing whatever. We had a conversation about what I wanted to be. And you was just like, keep doing what you're doing, continue going down the right path. And I ain't even gonna be, I'm gonna be honest, I had the same shirt on. And that means, you know, I'm doing the right thing because I ain't get too much bigger, too much smaller. But I'm here. So
I think I got the same jacket on.
But I just wanted to share that, and I appreciate you being here.
Are you saying I got to roll?
No, there's two conversations. There's one with these young people, and there's the second with these adults.
Oh, so we got to kick the kids out?
No, we don't have to kick the kids out. No,
Oh, we're including them now? What are we saying? Everybody gets to stay?
Kids get to stay. You want to talk to these adults who are...
Well, what can you ask me? What would you like to know? Well, what could I ask you? Yes.
So, I'm a Boys and Girls Club kid, and I was with Frank Cullum Boys Club. I was born in 1955, and I was so glad at the time that they changed boys clubs to girls clubs, and I know how important that is for you. And I wanted to tell the kids, I mean, I'm talking to you, but I wanted to tell them that everything that he said is absolutely true about where you are. This is an extraordinary place. And if I hadn't been a Boys and Girls Clubs kids or a Boys Clubs kid, I wouldn't be where I am now, which is I'm an attorney. I work for Geico Insurance Company, and I was on the board. You like Geico? No, I was on the board of this club for many, many years, and it's a positive place for kids. And I'm so pleased to see you and see the growth.
How many potential attorneys? Stand up. Stand up, attorneys. Y'all talked already. Good.
We're trying to give us different paths.
Okay. All right. I'm late.
We're there.
Legal.
What else can we ask? You got a question?
I was wondering, like, what kept you going, like, before you really got his career started? Like, what kept you going if you, like, ever felt like, I don't know.
Failure
Yeah.
kept me going. Positive reinforcement from adults at critical moments. Faith kept me going. And humility. Never thinking, and I still don't, that I remember coming home one year, my mother owned a beauty shop, and I said, "Mom, did you ever think I was going to be this?" And she said, "All right." She started calling me, "All right, superstar." She said, "Get that bucket, superstar." Start cleaning those windows, super. So for like 2 days straight, she had me cleaning everything and calling me superstar, making me wash the windows and everything. But I'm an ordinary man with an extraordinary job. So I take my work seriously, but I don't take myself too seriously. I just try to work hard and share. You're only as good as you give.
That's why we love it.
Yeah, like that. I mean, you know, this world's full of takers. And they would, it's like you walk, you get up in the morning with your bucket of self-esteem. And all day long, people just scooping and taking it away from you. And by the end of the day, you're like, right? Right? You have to replenish the bucket, prayer, meditation, whatever you use at night. Okay, that was a rough one. Thank you, but I'm still here to talk about it. So it's not that bad, especially in this time and day and age, just to be able to say I'm still here. Right? Huh? What'd you say? Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about the movie. Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about, really. You know, to make it through the day and to get up in the morning and what can I do? Who can I make better? How can I help? What can I do that's uplifting? Am I maximizing my potential? You can fool everybody. I still got to look at the guy in the mirror. You still got to look at the lady in the mirror. You can't fool her. You can't fool him. Are you really doing enough? What can I do better? Is it everybody else's fault? Really? Sometimes. What else? What? To this one, I don't live here. I live in Los Angeles. I don't live here. My mother actually lives in Rockville. So you can visit.
Or you could just take a day and go to both. How about that?
Anything else? What else you want to ask? Yes, sir. Okay, I'm going. I gotta go. Oh, no questions over here?
We're at there's no question now.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
What would you tell us to do better or more of? Like, it was so great seeing you engage with the kids, and we want to hear what you have to say instead of us talking. I think the most incredible thing I saw you doing is listening to what all of you had to say, which is so important. What can we do better? What can we do more of?
Be available, be here.
Yeah. Okay,
Every day.
Yeah.
I mean, volunteer.
Yeah.
Frank, what's the answer to that question? What can they do?
We talk about this all the time. Denzel speaks about it in 3 terms. You can give from the heart, you give from the head, or you give from the hand. I could talk to 2 of them. You give from the heart, right? You commit your time, you volunteer, you help these young people. You get in here, and that's a lawyer, you connect with a lawyer, and you say, how am I gonna make it easy? Then you commit with your head. You become a board member, and you drive the business of Boys and Girls Club. You go here and say, I'm gonna drive this business. It needs revenue, it needs future leaders, it needs political leaders. Denzel and I have spent all day on the Hill getting political leaders to believe in this cause. And then Denzel did it best. We were in a meeting with a bunch of investors, and he said, you got to give with your hand. And they said, what does that mean? And he took out a pen, and he said, write a check now. You're not leaving, write a check. And so the 3 ways that we need you to support these young people is from the heart, the head, and the hand. And everybody has a way to do it. There's 1 of 3 ways. Some of you can do it all 3 ways. But you should not leave here without committing to this family, to these people, and to these young people that you're going to do 1 of them. You should not leave here. And that's what we spend our time doing all across the country, getting people to invest in the Boys and Girls Club from the political side. Tonight, we'll be at the Youth of the Year dinner where we are talking to a lot of corporate leaders and having them invest. But there's no better investment than young people. Denzel talks about it. From 5 years old, I'm a 6-year-old kid at the Boys and Girls Club Kips Bay. He was in Mount Vernon. We were up the block. I was in the Bronx. But there's no better investment in your community. There's no better investment in your 401k plan. There's no better investment in your 401k than knowing that every career that these young people talked about is going to be a career that invests taxes into the economy. And what does that mean to you as somebody who's looking on the retirement side that your 401k rises? Those are the 3 ways that you should not leave here today without telling Gabrielle, my friend Henry here, what you're gonna do. And that's what we want from you.
And Frank, what's the title? Vice President of the...
Vice President, I lead all of the national sports relationships, and for many of you, I was here in this room when we had Major League Baseball, cut the ribbon here, and we committed $100,000 in that room so that these kids had access to technology, and they had a teen center that represented them well. And then I manage all of our national celebrity alum. So Denzel is our national spokesperson, Jennifer Lopez is our female spokesperson. We got about 150 celebrity alumni, Shaq, Usher, Nino, Ashanti, a bunch of them that all support.
He's a young man who started the club just like I did. I took one path as an actor. He's the vice president of the Boys and Girls Club. So there's a million different ways you can go. There's not one path, and it's not all about just, you know, all about being seen and being famous and all that kind of nonsense. Any other questions? Yes.
How have you used what you learned in the Boys and Girls Club?
How have I not? I ran in a track race as a kid in the club, and the coach knew I was nervous because this other kid was faster than me. I was in the 3rd grade, and at school I couldn't do nothing with him. He was faster than me, and I remember my counselor telling me, yes, but we were running a relay. He says, yes, he can run faster than you, but he doesn't know how to run. He doesn't know how to run the turns. He doesn't know how to pass the baton. He doesn't know how to receive the baton. He said to me, and I never forgot, he said, your natural ability will only take you so far. I never forgot it. I started acting 20 years later, whatever it was, for 2 years in undergrad. And everybody talked about, oh, you're going to be this, you're great. But I knew my natural ability wasn't going to take me but so far. So I got into a theater school and worked on my master's. I didn't get my master's, but I stayed for 2 years. I studied 2 more years, and it was directly related to him saying to me, because they're quick to say when you're good at something, oh, he's a natural. Yeah, well, I've been studying for a long time, so know that your natural ability will only take you so far. You need an education applied to whatever you're good at, public speaking, whatever it is, economics, finance. Any finance? Who's the money folk? We got some finance people, economics. Well, yeah, thank you. Yes, any other questions?
Yeah.
This is less of a question and more of a comment, and it's kind of directed at the kids. Great that you're here. But my husband, Joe, was a board member of the Boys and Girls Club for 15 years. And as some of you know, he passed away, Alex's father, suddenly in February. But Joe's passion was people. And his passion for the Boys and Girls Club, and I'm seeing it here today in all of your faces, is that he always wanted to help others find in themselves what they didn't yet see in themselves. And I'm just so pleased and so moved to see you guys finding your potential inside yourselves, encouraging each other as ambassadors and ambassadors to be that aren't here with us, and just really knowing that you have potential, that you have support, and that you have loving, caring adults that want to see you be who you want to be and be successful members of society, and that people really do care as much as you guys seem to care about each other. So I'm impressed, and I'm proud of you guys.
The term role model is thrown around a lot. Oh, you're a role model. But, you know, when I was at the club, yeah, Muhammad Ali was famous, but I couldn't get him on the phone. You know, yes, I'm famous. You can't get me on the phone. The role models are the ones that you look up to and listen to every day. The adults that you follow. So it's a responsibility for all of us, for parents, for, you know, for counselors, for everybody involved in the club. But you do have, I'm sure, tremendous role models, leaders here to follow. And I look forward to seeing your success. I do want you all, each and every one of you, to remember me and tap me on the shoulder. But I'll be old in 20 years, so I'll tell me when, yes. When.
This isn't really a question, it's a comment. I just want to thank you for the time that you've given, because one thing that I have been taught is that you can't take back the time you give. The time is something memorable, so I want to thank you for the time that you've given us.
My pleasure.
Try to get some quick group pictures, okay? Because we want young people with pictures and we want some adults. So what we're going to do is box the set. Take the semi-organized first one. You guys get real close. Right here. You get real close. You get close in here. This is the first 7. And then we're going to go. On the number 7, I just want to